I've been pondering the topic of LGBTQ communities and how we as Muslims should navigate these discussions.
Why are you gay?
I'm uncertain about how to express my objections while staying true to my values and not feel left out or be called narrow-minded.
Show up, say it's haram. Haram. Refuse to elaborate and leave.
That's going to be popular.
You need to leave!
Assalamu alaikum and welcome back to a brand new series called A Very Good Question.
No prizes on guessing where we got inspiration for the title.
The brother asked a very good question and a very intellectual question.
Many of you have reached out for advice on different struggles and challenges. We get DMs asking us about a wide range of topics. For some reason, people ask us stuff. It must be because we're very wise.
Ooh, so wise.
So we thought we'll start this new advice column where we discuss issues and topics that you bring to us and offer advice based on our experiences as well as with the help of you, the viewers.
You guys in the comments can also give your advice and tips.
Yeah. And as always, disclaimer, we're not scholars, we're not students of knowledge. We're simply using this little platform that we've been blessed with to highlight some issues and challenges that you, the viewer, might face and need help with. Also, another big disclaimer, this is not saying that we have the answers to everything. It's more so to bring the topic into light. Insha'Allah, find a different perspective on your issues that you might face.
Together.
Hello, Juliana and Izzy. Thank you for the opportunity to chat. I recently discovered your work on Instagram and I was truly impressed by how you present your ideas. MashaAllah.
We did not send this in ourselves.
You don't get to 12.3k subscribers on YouTube.
Humble brag.
Without being 12,000 subscribers. I'm kidding, but thank you for sending in an email, first and foremost.
For trusting us, honestly. It means a lot that you actually want our advice.
You know our humor, right? You know our level of maturity, right? Just so we're on the same page.
Yeah.
Anyway.
Dealing with social issues. I've been pondering the topic of LGBTQ communities and how we as Muslims should navigate these discussions. At 22, I've noticed that many of my peers either avoid the topic or adopt an accepting stance, claiming it's none of their business as long as they don't engage personally. Living in an Arab country, I find the internet has made this a more prominent issue. I'm applying to work as a marketer with a European company or European companies, so it's been a topic of discussion with my colleagues who seem to not care what the company's beliefs are. I'm uncertain about how to express my objections while staying true to my values and not feel left out or be called narrow-minded. Right off the bat, this is a very relevant topic, I feel. It's something I have experience with myself. And I feel like in Europe, or at least in Scandinavia, I could say, the topic of religion and all these private matters, who you love and who you don't love and whatever, is very private. People are kind of oh, religion.
Gotcha.
Yeah.
So, inshallah, it won't be an issue. You might not even get any questions whatsoever about this.
But having said that, it's always best to be well-equipped in the event that you do get these questions.
Yeah.
And when we say well-equipped, it could literally be you rehearsing what you want to say just in your head so you know what to say and how to say it.
So from what we gather from this email is that the sister asks how to be unapologetically Muslim in the workplace. Without stepping on any toes, I guess, in a way.
And from what we gather, the sister is a bit uncertain as to how to express those objections while staying true to her values. For the most part, if you work correctly, if you're good at your job, you get along with people, fairly well, you shouldn't have anything to worry about. And in the event that they really ask you and almost demand an explanation, be unapologetic in your answer so that it goes against Islam and its teachings. Simply state what you believe in, and that should be enough. Most importantly, be polite but firm. Whichever way you choose to answer, be unapologetic on your Islam and speak with confidence. And in the event that they really press and push and try and dissect why you believe that it goes against Islam and your religion, simply just flip the script and ask them instead, am I not allowed to have a different opinion? Why is it so important that I have to agree with you? Why are you forcing your beliefs on me? Is your opinion somehow more valuable than mine, that I have to change my position?
Do you not agree with religious freedom that we have in this country?
It could also be you don't believe in God, the creator. To me, I find that extremely offensive, even more so than what you're asking me. but I don't press you about it. I don't demand an explanation from you. And if it does get to that point, then yeah, the situation is probably a bit tense and a bit, confront. And if it does get to that point, it probably is a bit confrontational. So at the very least, you understand what kind of people you're working with.
It's better to prepare and almost like rehearse these scenarios so you feel confident if it happens.
It's better to be a warrior in a garden than a gardener in a war.
Profound.
Yeah.
Wise. That's why people send us questions.
That quote is from an actual samurai who wrote about his life.
That's cool.
It's much better to have the capability to answering these tough questions as opposed to just going with the flow, hoping you might not be asked about it. And honestly, these responses isn't just specifically reserved for the sister who asked the question. It's for you who have the same position or belief that we do and often find difficulty in answering these questions because it's not that difficult to answer, really.
Yeah, no, I think it's easy to get flustered in the moment because once you're not prepared and you don't want to seem like that narrow-minded person, I don't know, we shouldn't really care, but it's natural that we care. It's our workplace. We don't want to have a toxic environment, right. But you also don't want to compromise your values. Of course, it's a given, but be polite. We're not saying go and shout this and run around and hate on people, obviously not.
No. Don't go around with a bell if you see one of them flags and go, shame.
Sure.
You can do that. It'll be pretty funny. I'll find it funny, but
no.
What you say is important, but how you say it is even more important. If you're very
dilly-dallying and you're
I'm
sugarcoating it, you seem very insecure, they're not going to take you seriously, or they will just continue pushing you. But it's also totally okay and good to be straightforward and stern in a way. And I will especially say for sisters, I think it's natural for us to be a bit trying to lighten the situation because you don't want to be confrontational. But by being so wishy-washy, it's easy for them to kind of run you over.
Let me tell you something. Let me tell you something. Let me tell you something. Let me tell you something.
To step on you, to continue asking questions that you don't want to answer. Have the confidence to end the conversation as well if you don't feel comfortable continuing the conversation. Or if at lunch, people are starting to talk about things that you don't want to talk about, simply leave. Laters. Bye. Remove yourself from that situation if you don't feel ready to answer possible questions. I'm gonna go work.
Haram. And then just go. There's a chance that you probably won't fit in with them anyway, simply because you're Muslim. You might be called narrow-minded anyway, but who sets this standard of narrow-mindedness? Why are we following their standards? Try not to feel too affected if they call you narrow-minded or if they think that you're narrow-minded. Because whether they like it or not, whether they know it or not, we have the haqq. We have the truth.
Of course, it is natural to feel a bit affected. You don't want people to think bad of you. But the same way we disagree with them, they can disagree with us. And honestly, by stating your beliefs and being confident about it, you might actually find colleagues that share your values,
right.
But they're not as vocal as you are. And that actually I experienced myself. Someone who I would never think had a more traditional mindset like me, it was like, okay, cool, let's connect.
Yeah.
I have an ally.
Yeah. And you'd be surprised, honestly.
Yeah.
So one thing that the sister mentioned was about being left out of things. Being left out isn't always a bad thing. What if there's an after-work drinking session? And some companies have a really strong culture of after-work drinking, after-work activities outside of the office. And the fact of the matter is, you're there for a job, not for after-work activities. And just to be blunt, or as the kids say, keep it 100, when you're left out of degeneracy, are you really missing out?
Boom, bam, bop, bada bop, boom, pow.
Maybe missing out Jahannam. I don't know.
Wow.
And the thing is, oftentimes when you go to these after work activities, you might think that, it's to foster friendship and foster camaraderie between your workmates. But honestly, lots of times it can just create more drama and nonsense.
Yeah. So to sum it up, if you find yourself in a situation where you have to answer questions about LGBTQ in the workplace as a Muslim, be polite, but also be unapologetic.
Being unapologetic simply means State what we believe in as Muslims, but more importantly, be stern and confident in your position.
And don't be afraid to end the conversation if you're uncomfortable or just leave a situation. Just go, hey, I'm at work. I don't want to discuss politics. You know, like, I'm going to go do my job later.
If they say, oh, it's not politics, they say, okay, I don't want to discuss this, whatever it is. Just flip the script on them. Like, you're making me really uncomfortable right now. I feel like you're really pushing your belief on me. At the end of the day, it's just a job. It's just a position. It's not your life.
And Allah will provide.
And not to bury the lead or anything, but number one, trust in Allah, make dua. And whatever that you leave for the sake of Allah, He will replace with something even better. We hope that answers your question. We hope that it helps in some way, shape or form.
We went so much back and forth.
And we hope it's not a train wreck of a series.
No, he's really good at editing, so I'm sure it all makes sense. But right now I'm like, did we answer the question? Let's read it again.
For example, here, fart sound.
That's how my brain was like.
Psych!
So yeah, this was our thoughts, our perspective, our advice. Now I'm very curious and excited to see what you guys, the viewers, what's your advice? How should the sister deal with this? Do you have experiences that you can share? Please do so in the comments and be nice. Always be polite. Right. Which you guys always are, but you know, I have to say it.
I don't know, man.
Usually. These guys are, but some other guys are not.
For sure. We have a series for that.
We have a series for that. Go watch it.
Subscribe, leaving a like always helps us out. And if you really want to help and support the channel, please consider becoming a channel member. You get exclusive content, more personal stuff, and yeah, the satisfaction of supporting the channel and supporting us. As always, a big shout out to all our channel members. We really appreciate you guys and your support.
And if you watching right now want to send in your situation or your questions, what you want advice on, please do so here on hsp.questions@gmail.com, and Insha'Allah we will get to your email as soon as possible. Right. We want to say thank you so much to those who have actually submitted your questions or the topics that you want advice on. Whenever we saw an email coming in, we were like, wow, someone actually sent in.
And then we go, oh man, now we have to make a video. I'm kidding.
No.
I'm kidding.
And then we start thinking like, should we say this? How should we say that? Like we really want to do our best answering these questions and topics.
Anything from revert life, living in a different country, content creation.
Marriage,
yeah.
Parenthood.
How to be awesome, like easy, you know.
Being Muslim in the West.
Yeah.
Honestly, anything that we feel qualified answering. Yeah. And if you don't use your email or your questions in the video, we will respond to your email letting you know that it won't be used because of whatever reasons. Go see an imam. I don't know.
Refuse to elaborate. Leave. Thank you for watching. We'll see you in the next one. Assalamu alaikum. Bye.
Done.
You want to do a quick